Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Roll of a Queen, and I'm joined by what the fuck? Yo, this is why you should never, ever, ever have your own live stream in a separate tab because you fuck up the intro. Let's do that again. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Roll of a Queen. It's the Comics Code UH-Thority podcast, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely, scrumptious, delicious, handsome, and flavorful homeboys. Fellas, please introduce yourselves.
Hey, as always, I am AJ. It's good to be here.
Hey, and my name is Elvis, and I'm glad to be here too. Oh, what a crazy couple of hours! Like, not even a week, a crazy couple of hours.
Yeah, oh boy, don't worry. We gonna get into all of that shit. Yeah, we just get this out the way. Fellas, y'all read anything good this week? Any comics or whatnot?
Did I read anything this week? It's been kind of crazy this week. I don't think I got too much. Uh, yeah, I don't think I read anything this week. That's kind of sad.
Yeah, what about you,
well, uh,
Elvis?
well, I read two recent Mark Millar releases, thanks to our friends at Millar World. We're still getting those reviews, so I guess this is gonna count. This is gonna count for why we're still on their mailing list. Okay, I'm gonna
Yep,
get two quick reviews right here. All right, put it in the tags. All right, put it in the description. So,
got
that
you.
they can't sue us for all the free comics they've been sending. Um, okay, so we had American Jesus Revelation, number 3, the final issue of that entire trilogy of miniseries that has been going on for like at least the last 20 years or something. Um, and I have to say, I think that it was a bit of a mistake making these miniseries each 3 issues. When I read the second miniseries that came out like 3 years ago,
Hmm.
American Jesus, the New Messiah, I'm like this felt like it was a bit too thin. Like it needed like an extra couple of issues just to like really flourish, really feel fulfilled. And I think that's a worse issue with this miniseries because like I thought the first 2 issues were like, oh, this is nice, it has a nice momentum, and then the third issue, obviously, it has to cap off this entire saga, and oof, it is it's less an issue and more a montage, you know?
Uh,
Like it has to hit all these beats, and it's hard to do that when you're like 21 pages, six
hmm
panels per page, and a lot of exposition. And I think that a lot of it makes sense. A lot of it was set up, but seeing it in action, reading it, it's you don't really feel that emotional weight because it is very thin. It's very kind of hollow feeling, superficial. I want to, but these aren't negative things. I think
hmm
that the story had a natural, logical conclusion, but it needed more time to really develop and really sort of bridge those gaps. So I enjoyed it, but I give it like maybe like a 6, 7 out of 10. Um,
Okay, okay.
Overall, the series I would give like a 6, 7.5 out of 10. It's an enjoyable series, but it is very much Millar's world of view, you know, and he's been going kind of wacky these last couple of weeks, last couple of months, So fingers crossed it doesn't get any deeper than that. Then we have the Magic Order Volume 4, Number 1.
hmm
Which this is a series that's been going under the radar. I don't think much people have been talking about the Magic Order. And this I think this is like the first miniseries without Stuart Immonen, or the second miniseries without Stuart Immonen, who did the first 2 miniseries with Mark Millar. Um, and I feel like he didn't have enough story for the planned 5 miniseries. Now this was meant to be like co-produced with a live action Netflix show. They got canceled
hmm
after the pilot, and it was never seen, never released. They're apparently reworking it now, but who knows? And I think this is probably the reason why, because the first miniseries, like, oh, someone's killing off all these old school kind of magicians, like Zatanna, Zatara types,
hmm
and like, oh, who could it be? And the second miniseries is like the fallout of that. Third miniseries is like the fallout of that. And this one is like, oh no, someone's killing off all these musicians. Like, okay, you already told that story. You already told that story.
hmm
You're redoing it. I feel like they didn't have enough story to go around, and it just feels like a more of a retread. It it's fun, in that Millar kind of like, oh, he's going over the top kind of way. He's going that extra step. He's going maybe a little bit too far. He's provocative, but it's I just felt like it was a little too repetitive. We've seen it before, and hopefully the rest of the miniseries kind of it makes itself more worthwhile, makes itself more distinct. I gotta give it like a pure 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. Okay, not bad. Okay. As for myself, the only thing I read this week was Action Comics, and that was pretty solid. Surprisingly enough, the Power Girl backup was my favorite, and that's by Leah Williams. Because of what I do for work, I thought Leah Williams did a pretty solid job handling like the mental health aspect of things. She's dealing with the aftermath of Beast Boy because he got his wig blown off in Dark Crisis, and he's still dealing with that trauma. And I think she did a good job dealing with that. Because again, when comic books touch on touchy topics like this, 9 out of 10 times they don't do the best job. But I think I got to give Leah Williams her respect here. And as for the main story, pretty solid work. Good to see the Superman family back together. The only downside I have to say is that man, it really sucks when this book that's been a full series this entire time is now chopped down being it's an anthology series. So right when the story is about to pick up, you got to make time for two other ones. So that's my only downside. The Dan Jurgens story was pretty solid as well. I'm looking forward to seeing how this back in the day John stories play out. Maybe, who knows, this is them trying to have their cake and eat it too, because a lot of people want John to be de-aged again. I think this is him just playing off of that story is pretty solid as well. So overall I had a great time, and I did check out Lazarus Planet. We Were Gods, that was the better of the Lazarus Planet issues. The Aquaman one was solid, but it was too short. The Wonder Woman one is pretty fucking dope. And I think, the Shazam one was pretty cool. I like the fact that they roped in Malik from Black Adam. And I feel like I'm missing another one. But overall, I had a great time. And yeah, let's see how Lazarus Planet plays out, because I'm fairly convinced that this was just an excuse to get a lot of the B and C list writers from DC to get their shine. And so far, it's okay. It's okay. But I'm expecting a little more, especially in this coming week, because I know we have some new characters that are about to be popping up as well. So yeah, overall, pretty light week. I just picked up all my comics yesterday, so that's why I'm not too caught up. I'm right after the stream. I'll probably just like sit down and catch up. But speaking of which, we do have some updates with the dawn of DC. This came out of left field, actually. So let's get into it. So, first things first, looks like the Justice League is coming back at the end of the year. We did get a new image of the dawn of DC. I guess you can say like timeline, and then if you highlight far towards like the right, you can see something that says Return of the Justice League. So by the time they come back, it would have been a year since Justice League 75, aka the death of the Justice League. I expected them to be gone longer, but it is what it is. You can only stay so long without your flagship book. Other than that, there is some changes coming to Wonder Woman. There is a Hawkman book that's supposed to be coming out, and the major news is that Tom Taylor, no surprise, is writing Titans. We do have a Cyborg book that's coming out. It's good. It's gonna be with a brand new writer, which is really awesome. And even more shocking, Jeremy Adams will be writing the Hal Jordan Green Lantern book instead of Mariko Tamaki. Because back when I put out that video a month ago, Mariko Tamaki was slated to write the book, and it was supposed to be 6 issues, but now she's off. She's probably going to be doing something else. And the Green Lantern book is now an ongoing, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, some last minute changes there. Got the streets pretty hot. A lot of speculating going on. So yeah, I don't know. We can break this down for a little bit. Elvis or AJ, what do you guys think about some of these changes?
Mariko Tamaki not doing a book thus far anyway. That sucks for me. I really liked what she did in Detective Comics, and her X-23 run a few years back was pretty good too. So uh, I'm a fan of her. So it sucks that she won't be on a book right away. It seems. But Jeremy Adams, he's money. I checked out some of those Flash issues. What was that, like week before last? So yeah, I'm feeling what he's doing over there. So he's earned his shot. What else? Cyborg, good on him getting the title. Hopefully it can last a bit. I don't remember if it was announced as just a 6 issue or if they're calling it an ongoing. But even if it is a 6 issue, if folks support it enough, it can get extended, as we have seen these past few months. Let's see, other Green Lantern news. Oh yeah, the John Stewart. I know I speculated that it seemed like in that press announcement that he was being downgraded to a backup instead of an ongoing. Seems like that's half true. He will be getting his ongoing eventually. In the beginning, he will have backup stories in the Hal Jordan book. So hey, as long as John's getting some shine somewhere, I'm not going to complain. Let's see, was there anything else? The Titan stuff, yeah. I mean, we all could have seen that coming. Even
Mm-hmm.
if you're like me and haven't been reading Nightwing for a while, it's pretty clear, that Taylor had been teeing that up for a while. I know they've had about 3, 4 appearances in that Nightwing run. It seemed like that was his audition for Titans, I'm guessing. So we'll see what he does there. I'm not expecting too much from that. And anything? Oh, the Hawkman. Well, we don't know if it's Hawkman or Hawkgirl at this
Oh
point.
yeah, that's right.
My money would be on Hawkman, but if they give Kendra or Shira, excuse me, some focus, I wouldn't complain on that. Actually wouldn't be surprised if it's Hawk Woman as opposed to Hawk Girl. They've been, like I said, Shira, she's been showing up more over the past couple years lately. Seem like they might be wanting to maybe potentially bring her back in. That could be kind of interesting.
Wait, didn't she
And
have a something in Dark Crisis? Like she was on one of them backup stories. I can't remember which one it was. Yeah, but it was
I'm
one of them.
I'm not exactly sure. Dark Crisis is a blur. Nothing too memorable anywhere. I'll go back and look. She probably was though. Let's see. I certainly remember she was in the Hawkman, that last Hawkman book,
Mm.
with Vendetti, and I think she was somewhere else. I can't think of it. Oh well. And let's see what else. Justice League. Yeah, not surprised that they're gonna be back. Maybe they've been going maybe a little longer than I thought they would have been, but they are coming back. Looks like they've got a slightly redesigned logo, so maybe they're taking the team in a new direction. We'll be curious to see what that roster is going to be. I think we can kind of put to bed the speculation that the new characters and or legacies would be taking over. With some folks seem to think after that was what Dark Crisis was talking about. Yeah.
Mm.
Between the Titans being elevated for the next few months anyway, and Justice League coming back, I think we can kind of put that idea to bed. But I think that's all the major stuff. So yeah, whatever you guys think about it.
Yeah. Again, I'm also bummed out that Mariko Tamaki is not on Green Lantern. I thought she could do something pretty interesting there.
Uh-huh.
But the good thing about that also is that I can't remember if it was Philip Kennedy Johnson or Jeremy Adams, but he really did give her respect. He said, "Hey, DC knows what a powerhouse they have with Mariko Tamaki, and she'll be back." So that
That's
gives me
dope.
a lot of hope. I'm one of the bigger Mariko Tamaki stands. Yes, I said stands because I fucking love that Detective Comics run. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm excited for that. But if I could speculate, I think maybe they had asked Jeremy Adams to do a pitch, and they probably like Jeremy Adams' pitch better than Tamaki's, and that's just the way the game goes. I don't think it's a slight against her at all. And whatever she does in the future, I am 100% behind that. Yeah, Titans, I got nothing to say. If you guys want to see the Titans become a mouthpiece for Tom Taylor's politics, or whatever it is, have fun with that. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. But right off the bat, it's a no for me. Next up, Cyborg. I'm excited. Good to see Cyborg getting a book. They're putting a fresh new writer on Cyborg. He's right from the Milestone Initiative program. So yeah, I want to show out for this character. I'm gonna subscribe, and yeah, I'm hoping for good things. And even the description we got was amazing. Like it sounds like it's gonna be a fun time. So yeah, overall, Dawn of DC is looking pretty good so far. So we'll see. Action Comics kicked everything off. So far so good, and we'll see how things play out. We'll see how things play out. But yeah, let's move along because
Wait, I just want to say one thing.
what's up?
Yeah, all right. My only thing is we gotta stop making Titans like a thing. Titans is never gonna work out because like they're adults. They're not teenagers anymore. So it just feels like a bunch of middle-aged weirdos trying to get like a band going in the suburbs in one of the garages, Like, oh, we're the dads, we're like 30, but don't worry, we're just jamming in the garage, after our work on the weekends. It's like it's some weekend warriors bullshit. It's pathetic. It's embarrassing. Like they should be just put them in the Justice League. Just call it Justice League. Have them be on there. Maybe have the older Justice League, like their legacy go on Justice Society. Put Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman on Justice Society. Put Green Lantern on Justice Society. And let the
Ooh.
let the former Teen Titans who are now adults with multiple kids be Justice League. It's pathetic otherwise. It's embarrassing otherwise. That's all I want to say.
Again, also to piggyback off of that too. I don't know, because I'll be honest with you guys. Like, from when I started reading comics, it just seems like they don't know what the fuck to do with this team. It's always some type of editorial nonsense or whatever have you.
It should
So
always
I don't
be
know.
sidekicks. It should always
Huh?
be sidekicks.
Yeah.
I think that again. I've said it before. I'm gonna say it until I die. But it never released anything good when they're like, who should be on the Teen Titans? Some random motherfucker who has no villains, has no hero, and has no storylines. Like, why the fuck is Starfire in the Teen Titans?
That was weird. That was weird. That was a weird
No,
choice.
like, why is she there? Why? And again, no disrespect to Starfire. She's a great character, but at that point, you're not called the Teen Titans. I mean, you shouldn't be called the Teen Titans because one, they were no longer teens there, and it get you expand the concept far beyond what's meant to be, and it becomes unwieldy. Why was a caveman on a Teen Titans? You know, that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, again, you're not lying, and I don't know. I said this before, regarding the Teen Titans. I I think that the concept of the Teen Titans is kind of done. Like, and even for the Titans as well, because again, how long are you gonna keep doing this? It's like everybody's well grown past, that time of their lives. Like, Dick Grayson is a bigger hero now than he's been in a very long time. Wally West as the Flash, dude, he's about to be on his third kid. He's also been elevated a lot. So again, I think all of these characters should be elevated to Justice League status as well, and it's kind of silly that they're not. And who knows? Maybe this could lead to that. Who knows? Because again, the OGs, well, at least from editorial standpoint, like they want to do something new, or they're leaving the world into these younger guys' hands. So I don't know why not, but yeah, no, I totally agree. And again, I think this is just another way for DC to, not have to shuffle, so many characters into one team and they can have multiple teams. So who knows? I just hope this time around they actually get it right. Let's actually hope this book doesn't last for just, I don't know, how long was the last Teen Titans run? 12 issues. That's an embarrassment. So let's hope they actually know what they're doing. Despite how I feel about Taylor, people buy his shit. So maybe this book has even a better chance of lasting long. So who fucking knows, man? Who knows? But yeah, that'll be something to pay attention to. But we let's move on because I woke up this morning after a night and the timeline was in shambles because Zachary Levi supposedly is anti-vax. Oh my god, the streets were in shambles. Oh my god, the world is ending. Another one. We just did this with Letitia Wright. Now it's Zachary Levi. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. Whoever wants to start on this, go ahead, because I'll save my controversial takes until the end. Please go ahead.
I'm gonna
Go.
go ahead because this is hilarious for multiple reasons. One is that the day before I just posted like on my channel like a action figure unboxing for the Shazam 2 Shazam figure, and then this morning it went up like 70 views like overnight, which is not something I'm used to, and I think it's
Hmm?
because of this bullshit, it's because of this news. And okay, so let's just break it down. All right, like at 3 a.m. in the morning, you know, he's this conspiracy theorist account that's been posting like nonstop weirdo shit was like, oh, is Pfizer a major danger to the world or something? And he's like, hardcore agree, not just agree. He was like, hardcore agree, right? And the thing is, right? Okay, then like 2 hours later, it takes him 2 hours for a follow up where he posts like a news article or journal magazine article about like how Pfizer is like overcharging and endangering people's lives with how they gouge the ill and the people who need treatment with their medications, which is all true. And like no one's defending Pfizer or the big pharma as like a concept here, but one. It's been 2 hours to do this, which means that in those 2 hours, someone saw that fucking tweet and got him on the phone and was like, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing?" And like, like so they try like, okay, what can we do? Like someone takes 2 hours to find an article that he's willing to post and then puts it up there because no one, if you're like, oh man, big pharma sucks, and like maybe 2 hours later I should post some clarification. You know, got you got bullshit. Okay, that's not what you meant. If it takes you 2 hours to come up with like part two of a tweet, all right. um and so we have a bunch of people like in his comments going like, "Yeah, man, the vaccine's killing us." Even EBS, fucking Ethan Van Sciver, is
Oh
like in the
brother.
comments going like, "Yeah, a boy, brother," and like, God, fucking damn it, this guy's pathetic. Um, and it's a shame because like one, I don't know how you can go this far um with a movie that no one's really ranking that high, but you have such the goodwill after the Rock's like public humiliation on like a personal level, how much he like banked and stocked into Black Adam on his own brand, how much he leveraged his own name on Black Adam, and like not people like you know what, it would be crazy if Shazam 2 was so much better than Black Adam. Or, you know what? First Shazam was so much better than Black Adam. Or Dwayne was so stupid for not being Shazam 1 or Shazam 2. And then like fucking sink that, in the
Mm.
court of public opinion. Um, and people are saying, yeah, he's been iffy with his tweets for like a while now. He's been following a lot of alt right news articles, newsmakers, commentators. He was on Joe Rogan. He's been talking publicly about how he thinks, like Jordan Peterson is like on the cutting edge of philosophy, all that kind of shit. But it's always been like in the background, and now it's kind of like in the front,
Mhm.
and it's a shame because like I'm excited for this movie. I'm still excited because I still want to support David F. Sandberg now, and the cast. I think like the kids, especially in the first film, they were really great.
Yeah.
Asher Angel was like the fucking cornerstone of that movie emotionally. I know Zachary Levi is all over the poster, but Asher Angel is Billy Batson, incredible. Right? He did some incredible work there with that film. And Zachary Levi, he was fun as Chuck 20 years ago, but he never grown past like sitcom acting. All right, let's be honest here. is the reason he was like the worst character in the Chipmunks movies.
Damn.
And it's a shame because like this movie looks like it's gonna be great. At least from like a directing standpoint, because I think Dave Sandberg, this is like the next level, and it'd be a shame for this to like impact like his career, because like he's a known figure now, but he's still like working his way up in Hollywood, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a shame, but people are saying like, oh man, he didn't mean that. Like, no, he meant it like that. What do you guys think?
Man, I guess we now know why Taika Waititi killed his character off in Thor Ragnarok. But I mean, come on, man. Levi's been towing the line for years now. You mentioned it, Elvis. I mean, you know, going on Rogan, holding up Jordan Peterson on a pedestal. I mean, come on. I'm not very surprised by any of this. I'm not surprised that he holds these views, I should say. I'm surprised that he chose to put this out there like a month before his movie comes out, which already, you know, has the chips stacked against it. The first Shazam, it was absolutely profitable, but it wasn't like some just barn burning blockbuster. You know, it did
It's a film
okay.
that will like last. It's a film that will last, but like it again, it's not something that's gonna have an immediate impact. I think
Right.
And the thing is that will people return? I've turned to Shazam like the last 4 years. You know, I've watched it like every holiday season. I think it's really great. It's a Christmas movie, but like now I'm like, do I want to see this motherfucker's face?
Yeah. And yeah, you know, I definitely think that will be something that comes up with folk. I mean, I've got the Blu-ray. You know, I'll check it out if I ever get the urge to watch it. But it wasn't on the. I guess I should say that it wasn't something that folks just felt like they had to see when the first one came out. Right. It was already released in a horrible window in between Captain Marvel and what was that, Infinity War, during the first film. So it's not like that was something that people just had their minds on. It's kind of facing the same thing this time around, another bad release window. And then now it's, you know, he decides to pull this out his ass on a random Sunday morning. They're like, okay, bro. Like, yeah, sure, go ahead. I'm sure he got a very frantic call from somebody in Warner Brothers PR department this morning. You know, it is what it is. I don't expect celebrities to necessarily be smart people, but I would expect them not to be people to take money out of their own pockets. So, you know, he's gonna have to deal with that. It'll be fun to watch that press rollout for that movie, because you know he's gonna get questioned about this in every interview that he has to do for that movie. So yeah, have fun with the mess you made, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, honestly, I feel like this will blow over so fucking quick. Why? Because I'll be the one to start that conversation as well. You know, we're already seeing the comparisons to, you know, the Letitia Wright situation, and the difference between that is, you know, we were pretty neck deep in COVID when that situation had happened, and now I'm not saying we're done with COVID, because COVID is still a thing, but you know, in the public's perception, you know, like we're phasing out of COVID, you know, like we're outside again, you know, there's more mandates, you know, that are lifted. So I feel like the climate around COVID is drastically different from Letitia Wright and, you know, Zachary Levi. So I think this will just again blow over. Will he be questioned, or, you know, will this be a stink, especially in terms of public opinion? Yes, of course. But I really think that, you know, I give it tomorrow or maybe in the next 2 days, something even crazier is gonna happen, and we're gonna forget all about this. People will still go and show up for that movie. Will it be less than the first? Yeah, because, you know, what is it? Sequels don't tend to make as much as the first movies. I don't know. Maybe it could be, you know, yes or no. It fluctuates. Who knows? But I think it'll be
Usually for comic book movies, they tend to most of the time do more, just because more people tend to be aware for the next time around.
Mm,
Yeah, I saw that argument, not just from you, but from a lot of folks lately with some films coming out. Like, no, guys, sequels for comic book movies absolutely tend to make more money if the first, especially if the first one was good, which the first
yeah,
Shazam was good.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
um, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be fine.
I
Again,
think it
it's
would have already got. I think it would have already blown over if he had done an actual clarification post. You know, if the thing is right. Like he's like, here's one of the examples. And he's definitely anti-vax. Let's just put it out there. He's
yeah,
not like not it's not miscommunication. It's not like
yeah,
a misunderstanding. He's definitely anti-vax. And
yeah,
the thing is right. That's what that post. If you look at the wording like of that post, he puts like two hours later, right? He's like,
hmm,
here's one of the examples. Means there's more examples. Like, oh, he's leaving it
yeah,
open ended. He's being vague about it. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to like go back on what he was implying, obviously implying,
yeah,
But if he had just put like a post saying like, oh, Pfizer is like really going into like the what big pharma is actually really guilty of, it would have blown over already. I'm like, oh man, that was a weird
yeah,
thing to tweet, but thankfully we know. But no, he's playing both sides, and it's really
yeah,
clear.
yeah. And again, I said this with Letitia Wright as well. Apologies, I got something in my throat. I said this with Letitia Wright as well. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be 100% honest. If you are anti-vax or whatever you view, bro, it honestly for me it's whatever. I understand people have their views on it, but for me it's what if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But at the same time, also know what you're getting into when you put that shit out there. That's always my thing. Tweet what you want to tweet, have your views, but the moment you put that out there, be prepared for everything. Be prepared for people praising you, the backlash, and all in between. And yeah, I think it was just dumb, especially in this. It's just dumb, but it'll be fine. You can have your views, but again, be wary. You know what you're getting into, and I agree. He probably got that call, and he'll just have to deal with it, honestly. But yeah, it's silly again because you know Black Adam left a big stink on things. Like again, somebody put out this tweet, and I do agree with it. It was like, hey, both of these movies are being released roughly around the same time, and there's no interconnectivity right there. That's already a bad look. And again, that's not the fault of Shazam. That's more of The Rock, but that's already a bad look. Then you have this, then that's gonna clog up the SEO as well. So it's just like, why, bro? Why? You couldn't wait until after. You couldn't wait until after, really. But again, I don't think it'll be this big, huge thing. Like, I don't know, man. It's just dumb for me. I think it's dumb, but will it have like lasting ramifications? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think it's just stupid, honestly. And who knows? Maybe let's just put this out there too. Maybe Zachary Levi just decided, well, we know the reboot is happening. Okay, well, why the fuck not? I mean, no, my character's not going to move forward, so why do I have to, you know, why do I have to keep up this uptight, not uptight, but why do I have to keep up this quote unquote facade if I feel how I feel? Let me just tweet out how I feel, and that's how it is. That's who knows. I don't know. That's my thing on it. I don't know. I don't know.
James Gunn just needs to go ahead and hit the nuke button, bro.
Yeah,
Rip the band-aid
he
off.
needs to post that slate. I do want to mention one last thing before we move on or go into anything else.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I do hate though, if people are saying like, "Oh, so this justifies what The Rock did." No, it didn't. The Rock was a
It
fucking
doesn't.
maniac.
It doesn't.
Or like, oh man, but people were too quick to judge Chris Pratt. No, we weren't. Like no, because even if there were some things that were like okay, maybe exaggerated or over the top, the guy still did a bunch of crazy shit.
Yeah.
Especially in regards to animals, his pet dog, that he and his wife Anna Faris abused and neglected. And he's not a nice guy either. People are using Zachary Levi as a scapegoat. Like, see, it wasn't as bad as what The Rock and Chris Pratt did. And like, no, no. One thing, The Rock had wasn't a moral thing. It's more just his own ego, and Chris Pratt
Exactly.
is just I don't know. It's just lots of things under the surface of that smile. You know.
Yeah, and again, it's I don't get the whole compare. I like the only comparison I will agree with is the Letitia Wright versus this. Everything
Yeah.
else, we don't need to hold up a candle to. We don't need to do this comparison game with
Yeah.
everybody else. Like everybody was just being dumb separately in their own accord. But because it's comic book movies or whatever have you, we all have to do this comparison. Like, no, everybody was just a dumbass. That's it. It doesn't connect. That's all it is. Like you were just a dumbass.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, do we want to talk about the trailer? I didn't see the trailer.
I mean, the trailer is almost the same as the first trailer, except it shows more of like the final fight.
Oh, so I didn't miss nothing.
No, not really. I mean, unless you want to see like more of like what's gonna happen in like the final fight, it's basically the same. Um, one thing is that I don't listen to Drake. I never heard a Drake song in my life. Um, and so it's really funny to see people be like, "Why they put a Drake song in the trailer?" Like it just sounded like trailer music to me. I don't know what Drake song sounds like, but apparently Drake sucks. So why y'all make him famous?
Yeah, no. Hey, listen, this ain't gonna turn into the Drake dick riding contest, but hey, listen, if Drake's music is being used for commercials, then that means his music is doing something. And like I said, I may have my issues with Drake, but hey, sometimes when he wants to make good music, he makes good music, and it makes total sense that they would use his music for a trailer. So I'm totally on board with it. But yeah, as for the trailer, what I've been seeing online is like people aren't really vibing with it. I don't know what's going on, like with the trailer. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, me neither. It seems like it's just a regular trailer. Like there's nothing about it that doesn't feel like every standard. Maybe people were expecting something a bit different, maybe something a little more exciting. But it just feels like a standard trailer. I think a lot of it is because I think that the Drake song does kind of suck. Doesn't have that much energy. It's very. I don't know if that's what the song is or how they edit it into the trailer, but it is very low energy, very kind of dour. And the trailer is trying to go for like a serious tone, like, oh, this is like the next level for Billy and his family. Their next challenge. They're they're now they're growing up. This is a grown up challenge. It's not like just some bald guy. Like it's a real threat. You know,
mhm.
maybe like that's a bit awkward because you have that, and then you have like maybe like a couple of like the standard corny jokes thrown in. But other than that, it's a regular fucking trailer. I don't know. People are overdoing it, and you know, I think people are just looking for things to nitpick about. I feel like this is the worst comic movie trailer of all time. No,
We've seen worse.
we've seen
I'm
worse.
sure we've seen worse.
We've seen worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
I was just gonna say I think part of it was, and yeah, I agree. They're largely nitpicks, but I think what was it? The pre-advertising for the trailer described this as the final trailer. So I don't know. Maybe folks were expecting something a little bigger, maybe a little more bombastic for the. If this is going to be the last look at your film before the movie comes out, I think that folks expected something more. But I mean, that's what TV spots are for. So you got the
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah. No. And also too, I mean, we could spend a little bit of time talking about it because I forgot to add this in here, but uh is there a specific date that Gunn said he was gonna show off what the new DCU is looking like,
He said
or
like in January,
Yeah,
and so that's
and we're
2 more
it's like
days.
2 days left of January, so it's going to come in 2 days. He's going to do it on the last day of January, guys.
I feel like get your stocks in, like buy WB stocks immediately. Do it.
I
Like
mean,
what do you got to lose? Take advice from me. Drop 100. Those stocks like $14 now. When news drops, guess what they're gonna be? Like 30. All right, easy 100.
shit, I might
Get
have to do
rich.
the
Make your
same.
money. Make money.
I mean, do we want to speculate on what some of the titles will be on this new slate? We could spend like a couple minutes. What do we think will be
I
announced?
mean, we know Superman is going to be one of them, seeing as how he's written the movie already, apparently. Um,
probably
Other than
confirmation
that,
on what I think. It's gonna be weird. Like, is he gonna announce just the reboot stuff, or also the stuff that was already in development that has been officially canceled yet? Because like we know we have like that Amanda Waller spinoff that people are saying might be Secret Six, but hasn't been titled yet. You know?
yeah, I don't even know if he's gonna do any of the TV stuff.
Exactly. Which is weird.
Which would be interesting because, well, yeah, like we say,
Would it
what's
be
going
funny
on?
if like Shazam 3 was on there? And then like,
Yo.
That actually would be funny. Or no, it would have been funny if the plan had been for it to be on here, but now because of Levi, now it's got a question mark. Who knows? But that would be hilarious. I think maybe something with Green Lantern, maybe just because it's been, that film came out in what 2012, I want to say.
Mm.
And we know that they've been trying to get that off the ground for the longest. And that kind of seems like that would be right up Gunn's alley, not necessarily to direct, but you can basically take a Guardians film and slap a Green Lantern filter over it and shove a Hal Jordan in there and like, hey, Green. That would, other than that, who knows? He was very cagey about whether or not Gal is still Wonder Woman, so maybe they have plans for Wonder Woman 3. Who knows? I don't think it's going to be some extensive breakdown or like 10-year plan. I don't think they're going to give us all of that. I think you might get like the first year or two's worth of stuff, and then that's probably going to be it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. Like,
Wonder Twins is back. It's back, baby. They're pulling it from the cobwebs.
Oh God, I forgot all about that.
That would be a nice curveball, honestly, because people are expecting, something like Trinity related, but no, just don't give them a little curveball. Now we doing Wonder Twins, yo. That's what we're starting off the universe with. That would be funny honest. As fuck.
Peacemaker meets Blue Beetle.
Oh, okay.
I would actually rock with that.
Because like I didn't want it until I saw Peacemaker season 1. I'm like, you know what? Let's have him meet. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Wait, so is Peacemaker still going on, or is that also going to be canned?
Yeah, he's writing season 2.
Oh.
So okay. So as far as we know, I mean, I fully expect Gunn to keep around his stuff. Like,
yeah,
I don't see him throwing it out. I understand people gonna say, "Oh, he's a hypocrite." Well, yeah, he's also the guy in charge, so he can kind of do what he wants.
Which is probably
Peacemaker's
why,
a pretty good show.
Which is probably why Zachary Levi was so cocky these couple of days.
Yeah. In the beginning, he was like super duper. Oh, guys, I'm safe, blase, and kind of towing the line. And now, so I'm wondering, has he kind of gotten the word? Yeah, you're not gonna be here much longer, bro.
Yeah, no.
But I'm not sure if we get anything of the other members of the Trinity. Like I said, Superman definitely. Wonder Woman, I'm just saying maybe because Gunn was kind of cagey about Gal's status going forward. I would kind of be surprised if we heard anything about Batman. I know they say
Lobo?
That they Lobo.
Okay.
I wouldn't be. I would actually be kind of surprised. Lobo might be the Superman villain. I was thinking maybe he gets his own project, but he might just be the Superman villain.
And it does line up because Jason Momoa went around teasing, "Oh, we got some big news happening." So
yeah,
it could be.
And then as far as Batman, I don't think you're going to get much of anything Batman related. One, I don't think they want to take the spotlight off of Matt Reeves and what he's doing with Batman. And number two, I'm sorry. I understand that they're saying, "Oh, this is separate." I am not convinced that they are not going to find a way to work Reeves as Batman into the main universe. He can say all he wants to. "Oh, I'm doing my own thing, blah, blah, blah." As soon as Warner Brothers offers up a bag big enough, Robert Pattinson will be in the main DCEU.
Yep.
They cut a check to Pattinson, they cut a check to Reeves, and all of a sudden he's the main Batman. I would not be surprised if 6 months from now we hear that they're integrating those two. So we'll see.
Yeah, and right now, Batman is it's one of the most successful like DC stuff in a while. especially in terms of movies. So I mean, why not? Honestly, like for me, I would prefer to stay separate because again, if you
Same.
leave Batman and Batman by itself in his own contained world, there's just so much you can do with that to the point where you don't even need to cross into the DCU, and that's how I feel about the comics, bro. Leave Batman shit in Batman. If you want to put Batman in like the overall DCU, then make like a separate movie or whatever. But I, I I can see it also, but I also don't want it. I mean, that's just me. But again, it makes too much sense for them not to do it. If that make yeah, I don't know. Elvis, what do you think we may see?
Well, just I would be surprised if we didn't see Lobo. I think it's gonna be its own project. No way that like Jason Momoa was excited about like being like the villain of a Superman movie, which he might be because that's cool too. But like it seems like one, are you really gonna waste like this first Superman villain on Lobo? I mean, yeah, of course he's been a Superman villain and he's iconic in the cartoon, but like, are you like we gotta move past the cartoons? We gotta move past all that shit. We need
Mm,
we need fresher ideas than like what Bruce Timm thought was cool or iconic or definitive in the 90s. All right. A lot of that shit is way past its expiry date. And some of it wasn't really that good back then, if we're being completely truthful here. Now, Lobo was great, but the main man deserves his own fucking project. And Disney does too. He's got a lot of charisma. I don't think that, Aquaman was really something that allowed him to express himself. I think that he'd be really fucking.
mm,
Um, but yeah, Superman, Lobo, probably Secret Six if they're doing other TV show stuff. Um, but I don't want to guess. I don't think we're gonna see Wonder Woman. I think they're gonna keep their hands to their cards to the chest a bit with Trinity stuff.
yeah, I don't. I feel like Gal is gone. Honestly, I feel it in my bones. Like I mean, if they got rid of Cavill, and we'll get to it later. They're getting rid of Titans and Doom Patrol again. It just feels like a complete overhaul. So I think Wonder Woman is out, and yeah, I can see Superman first off. Then I can see a Lobo solo movie because again, like Jason Momoa did his thing with Aquaman, and also too, I feel like his stature has grown, especially in the last couple of years, and he's going to be in Fast. So we're going to see that soon. So it just makes sense for him to get his own solo project. And I think he'd be fine as a Superman villain. But again, it just makes more sense to just give him his own thing, especially if the writing will be solid. Why not? But yeah, I think those are the only ones I can see right now. Superman, Lobo, Peacemaker now, and maybe like a little hints of maybe we do get Green Lantern or a tease of Green Lantern, and yeah, that's it. And maybe some animation stuff because apparently the animation stuff will be looped in also. So we'll see. I'm cautiously excited. Cautiously is the word here because again, you know, we said this before. I think it was on Elvis's live stream. Like DC has burned so much good faith or goodwill with people that I would be a fool to just go into this news being super excited. So I'm gonna go in there with a lot of skepticism, and hopefully I'm surprised. Hopefully I'm surprised. But yeah, Superman for me for sure. I think that's what we'll see. Um, but moving on. Speaking of like superhero stuff, um, let's talk about this.
Okay, so like, I can't help but keep thinking about the clips that we've seen of this movie. Um, oh my god, you know this is it, right? You've seen this around AJ, right?
Wait, hold up. What's up?
Superman Solar.
I saw a brief clip of some trailer going around, but
Um,
I didn't pay any attention once I figured out it was a fan trailer.
yeah, it's a fan film that's being made by the same people who made Spider-Man Lotus. That
Oh
film.
god.
And it apparently has like a couple of the same issues behind the scenes, a couple of magas, a couple of like alt-rightists, working as the crew writing, acting, and you can tell by the trailer.
And really, Superman is the character that they thought would embody their ideals.
No, because they have the same idea that Dean Cain seems to have of Superman nowadays. We're like, oh no, Superman shouldn't be political. Superman should be a judge. Superman is just for like this vague inherent idea of good and justice. Where good and justice aren't like moral or driven by any kind of perspective or philosophy on the world. They're just what's good and what's justice. And all people are saying like, oh, maybe being racist is bad. That's just agendas.
Yes, because
just be good.
Because I'm absolutely sure that a character created by two Jewish men in the 30s who fought for the oppressed and the downtrodden would never be political. Oh yes, okay.
Yeah, and that's like pretty much 90% of the dialogue in the trailer. Pa Kent, who's in Kansas, wearing like a gigantic 10-gallon hat, like because they really want the Yellowstone audience. That's what they want. Like that. Like what is?
Oh
this?
my goodness!
Is this like a John Dutton like cosplay? Pa Kent. He's like, Pa Kent's like saying like, you're not here to save the world. You're just here to like do good deeds. So like, what the fuck does that mean, Pa Kent? That means nothing. This is what like even Kevin Costner, Pa Kent. Kevin Costner, who's literally John Dutton in Yellowstone, had more of like an actual stance about what
I was gonna say I
good
never want to hear anything about Snyder's Pa Kent again after what you just told me.
Real.
But no, yeah, okay, guys. Like,
and
wow.
you have like Superman saying, "I'm not here to like kowtow to any agendas." Or
yeah,
like,
that's the clip I saw. Like I'm like,
bro,
really?
Like, no,
you can go ahead, Elvis. Go ahead. I'll let
there's
you
a
go.
difference between being Superman. Okay, it's the kind of thing people think sounds reasonable, but until you actually start thinking about it, because like once Superman has agendas. Okay, the thing is, right, Superman as a character, yes, he believes in justice, but he believes in like actual justice. He didn't believe in a non-intermittent kind of philosophy. He, by existing, by doing what he does, he is interfering in the course of human events. Okay, it's not like Superman is like some sort of outside objective kind of conscientious objector. He is applying his own morality onto the human race, and like so that is inherent. Again, this is something that fucking Snyder did in Batman vs Superman with that like CNN like montage, like where like is Superman inherently political? Well, and the government's like saying like Superman exists, and the government we're gonna have to like deal with that, because that's what that means. Like it's a watershed moment to say like, oh, I'm here to just do good. I'm not here to like say I'm a Republican or anything or Democrat. Like that's so stupid. What? That's so reductive. It's so simple-minded. It's like baby brain bullshit that like like, oh, thank God Superman isn't like an extremist. Like he's just here to do good. Thankfully he's not like a radical leftist. It's bullshit.
Honestly, when I'll be honest with you, for me, it looked like a pretty solid, fan film until I saw that. Until I saw that, I was like, oh. And by the way, I had no idea this was made from the same people who did the Spider-Man stuff. And then also too, I had also seen like images of this thrown around, because there's some image on Twitter going around where it says racist, and then there's this guy, and there's some chick who plays Rogue, some chick who plays She-Hulk, and I was like, what is going on? I kept seeing that image floating around, and then I watched
that chick who plays Rogue is comic book Star Wars Girl 19.
Yeah, that's
something like that. She's like she's one of those fandom menace motherfuckers.
Okay, so I saw it. I was like, okay, what's going on here? Because again, I didn't have any context. And then when I seen the fucking trailer for this joint, I was just like, oh, okay. Then he said, oh, we're not here, I'm not here for like, political agendas. I'm like, okay, dude, that's not Superman. That's clearly somebody else, clearly with the political agenda using Superman as a mouthpiece. That's what it reeks of. And then
Yeah,
I was like, I turned that shit. I was like, fuck this,
because
dude.
the only
No.
people who say they're the only time people say don't want to have political agendas, it's to downplay the
Yes.
actual political inherent meaning of something. Like when you see like school shootings, right? The Republicans, neocons, all right, are like, wow, let's not make this political, But like it's inherently political. The only reason
Yeah.
you're saying you don't want to make political is because the actual when you actually look at the politics of it, you see that there are like responsibilities here that you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to actually contend with.
Exactly.
And like that's Superman. Like it's what Superman is. And you know
You
what? It's ridiculous.
you know what I also think of it as well is just like, again, I don't mean to backtrack. I think ever since last year, or was it late 2021 going into 2022, I think this is kind of like, right wingers way of trying to take Superman and mold him into what they want him to be. Because again, there was so much backlash from the John Kent thing. Again, that reached headlines, that caused a lot of noise. Then 2 weeks later, there was the whole logo change. Was it Truth, Justice, and what's the Truth, Justice, and an American Way, or something like that.
And like
And then
and liberty for all or something like that.
yeah,
Or
so then there was this whole big outcry about that, and I think this project right here is them trying to take that and mold it into what they believe Superman is.
And the thing is,
And
right, like the funny thing
mhm,
about that is that the American way, when that was like introduced as a tagline, it was during like World War fucking two, which is like, you know, when we're like fighting like white supremacy abroad, and like
mhm,
genocidal, like racist agendas abroad. And so it's so weird that like, oh, we gotta keep that in, but we're not gonna actually, parse out what the American way in that fucking logo in that slogan is. Like I'm okay, I'm okay with it being in, I'm okay with it being out. But
yeah,
if you're gonna complain about being out, live by what it means to be in. You know?
mhm,
It's so stupid. It's so stupid that
nah,
people are
and they won't, and it's weird, honestly. Like for me, the whole I don't get this whole, like, for me, here's the thing. This would have been a fine trailer without that. For me, it looks like a very standard, Superman like fan. It's what you would expect from a fan film, but when you throw that line in there, you you make it political, even though you claim it's not. That's exactly what you're doing. And again, for me, I try not to fall into that whole war, bruh. Just let just put out a good superhero project. That's all it is. Just put out a good superhero project. We don't need to go back and forth between right wing, left wing. Let's not make it. Just can you just focus on making the shit good? Can is that possible? Can we do that? It doesn't seem like it's possible, especially with shit like this. So it's weird, but of course, because of who it's pandering to, people are gonna fake say this is one of the greatest things ever. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. It looks
yeah,
this, it looks that.
finally a Superman that represents real justice. He doesn't discriminate against like
Oh,
like
please.
and it's like all these ads too. Like that there's like this I don't know some sort of political ads going around, right? And I don't know if you've seen it. It's like it was like he knew the truth or God is love. It has some stupid ass thing like that, but they're buying political ads like on WWE. They're buying political ads on like Twitter. They're buying political ads on YouTube. It's called like
Hmm.
Jesus was right, something like that. And they're like these small like 30 second ads. They're not selling anything, but all the ads are like showing like showing like really really strawman situations where like these people are like here's the two main ones I've seen. Okay, so a bunch of people like trying to call relatives and they're like being shut out and like they're
Hmm.
sad and then like black screen letters fade in saying Jesus didn't cast out his loved ones and then like the
Oh,
end
those
website.
fucking One of Us commercials or something.
Yeah, and then there was like one on that it was like last week on WWE, on like SmackDown or Raw or whatever. And it was like this montage of like people saying like who were like this guy was falsely accused, and like someone else going like, I could have testified in his favor, but I was too scared. And then like
Oh,
a news
brother.
announcer saying like, we could have reported the truth, but um, I was, but I was scared of like being canceled, some shit like that. Uh, and then you see like the guy getting lethal injection, like how like those tables are where like your hands are on your side, so like
Mm-hmm.
imagery, and it's like Jesus and then like black screen letters come out saying Jesus was killed wrongly too, and like and
Oh,
like
brother.
but like okay, initially you can say like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have the death penalty. That's what you think initially, like, because this guy was wrongly accused and then got killed by death penalty when he was wrongly accused. That makes sense, right? But then you see like
Mm-hmm.
what people are saying in the voiceover, like, oh, the public opinion, I didn't want to get canceled. Like, this is some alt-right bullshit.
Yeah, it's.
And that's the same kind of thing we're getting here. We're like, oh, it makes sense in a way, but then you see like you hear like the tone of what they're saying. Like, no, this is some bullshit.
It's not. Oh my god, it's so dumb. I don't know it. And now I look at this guy's face. I'm just like, man, get this bullshit off my screen, bro. Get this bullshit off my
We got
screen,
some comments
please.
here. I want to get into the comments. We have
Oh
Steph saying a couple of
god.
stuff.
Yeah,
Uh,
let's go for it. Um, the irony of having Superman say he won't be political in a movie that's shot like a low budget campaign ad is fucking insane too. Completely right.
it's my favorite part of the trailer because like when Superman's saying, I'm not here for anyone's agenda, and you see like flashes of people's faces looking at this guy, like white person, white chick, white couple, black guy. Like, we got to fit one in,
Oh my god. Oh, hold on. He says they're trying to reclaim him without understanding he was never their guy, and yet that's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. And again, for me, it's a pushback. I guarantee you, if we did not have bisexual John and we did not have the changing of the Superman logo, we would not have this. You take those out the equation, we don't have this. We don't have it. Guarantee it. This is just their way of fighting back against it. And to their defense, a lot of those guys are dick riders. A lot of people in that camp are dick riders. And they have a lot of big names backing them. So again, the general public or people who have sense will say, hey, this is either a low budget movie or it just looks like shit. But those guys will do a great job of amplifying how much of a great movie this is. And in their own little niche circle of fandom, whatever you want to call it, this is going to be praised like to the top. This is like Jesus to them. It's like Jesus to them. So that's what they're trying to do. Let's see here. Derpy said, I just want this new DC Superman based off of Max, a Fleischer cartoon, to a degree, the tone, powers, and reporter aspect with having that suit right there in the picture, a plot and villains similar to the 90s Superman animated series. Okay.
I think I know what you're talking about, like the logo, like that. Like, look at this concept art. And you can see like the logo is like that red, yellow, the black background of the S. That's like straight 30s style Superman.
Yeah.
So I can see what you're saying. Like, that would be cool if the new Superman reboot that it took more like old school, like golden age Superman kind of style and look. Fingers crossed. We know what it should take is some of that old school 1930s style. Like, he's not gonna take anyone's shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Because Matt Morrison tried to bring that back with Action Comics, like those first couple of issues. It kind of lost its way near the end. But the first couple of issues, he's going after like landlords, going after slumlords, that kind of shit. That was really good.
I mean, speaking of which, like, how do we think about the suit? Like, for dumbass face aside, what do you think about the suit?
It's in the concept art, it looks good.
Yes.
In the clips, people have said it so well. One, it overdoes it so much on the padding, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
And what makes it worse is that they don't know how to shoot it. Okay, so this one bit in the trailer where he like, I can see what they want to do. They want to have like a full seamless, like ripping, like ripping the shirt off kind of bit. Like they didn't want to have any tricks. They wanted to do it like right in the camera in the moment, like one shot. And I can see what happened. I can see exactly the thought process, like because the suit is so bulky, like so much padding, like even more than like a regular Superman suit would have padding. So what I guess they tried to have it like in the button-up shirts. They could do the iconic kind of button shirt rip, like you see in Donner, Tom Welling did it, Cavill did it, but then they realized, okay, no way, this is gonna go over all these fucking cotton like foam muscles, so they couldn't do it. So they went with like a hoodie, for some reason, now they have a giant fucking hoodie where it's looking like Frankenstein's monster, or like Digimon in disguise, or the Thing, or like and so it looks like he looks well. He doesn't look muscular, he looks like chunky, like he's on a run.
Yeah.
He looks like really really big and bloated. But then they realized like, well, you can't do like the open shirt rip in one camera move. That you can do with like the shirt. So they had they had to split up. They have them cut near the back, and they tried to do it in one move. They couldn't get it. They had to do a second take, and then they spliced both those takes together. And you look at that clip in the trailer, it juts. Where like he pulls, cut, and then like there's a giant flap on his side. And like if you couldn't do it,
why?
Just edit, just lie. Like that's why when they do it, like in like Donner, when they do it, well, not Donner certainly, because that was like a really thin suit, so they could get away with it a bit more. But you did like a Cavill did it, or like Welling did it. That's why they go really close to the chest. They show the ripping at the chest, and then like they kind of cut to a little bit later when it's more off. Because it's not feasible to hide a suit under all that clothes.
It's not.
That's why these editing tricks work, and it's so incompetent. Like neglecting everything else, neglecting that this is like that people behind this are stupid, racist, alt-right motherfuckers. As just technical standpoint, that is the most incompetent motherfucking thing I've ever fucking seen in my life. Because you have to be so stubborn to not like understand the language of film to do it.
Yep. Oh God, dear God. Yeah. No. No. And it also doesn't help too that we had even just recently, we had a better example of this suit. Fucking Homeboy who's doing Superman and Lois. That was a good version of the suit. That was a good version. And then this is just outside of the concept art. This is just bad. This is really bad. So I don't know. Overall, to move on, I'm not even gonna say best of luck. That I'm not even gonna waste my time. Let's move on. Speaking of which, Titans and Doom Patrol are officially canceled. We got the word a couple of days ago. My thoughts, actually, speaking of, before I go into my thoughts, it looks like they were all given the heads up before the news came out. So, they're gonna be shown with finality. So the Titans is actually gonna wrap up. Doom Patrol is actually gonna wrap up. They're not gonna be left on a cliffhanger, and that's gonna be like their send off. So yeah, we've tried to watch this show, and we fell off. I feel like Doom Patrol is probably the better of the two. But what do you guys think about this cancellation? Well, these cancellations.
Well, I think that there was a little wiggle room because with like Doom Patrol, that's why they split the season up into two halves. I think that there was a chance that maybe if the first part's half did really well, it might have gone to season 5. Because I think that like it's like that way, like they pushed off, and maybe there was something in the works where they shot like a more ambiguous ending that we're not going to see. They've done it before. But I as long as they had two endings, or at least they knew what was going on, sad to see it go, but it's better than just being abrupt.
Yes.
The one thing about this is this means Brian Hill can come back and do comics again. So yay for me.
Oh no!
Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go.
No, he's done some good stuff, but I'll never
but
forgive his Death Blow miniseries, which was just so terrible. How can you mess that up?
but no, oh man. In all seriousness, yeah, sucks for people fans of these shows. I'm super behind on Doom Patrol. Titans, I got like halfway through the second season, so I'll go back to that eventually. I'm glad that this didn't come as a surprise to them, and
Yeah.
the crews of both shows they're having the opportunity to go into this with a story to tell, for them to wrap up any plot threads that are still hanging in these series. So it's not going to be just some abrupt loss for the cast and for the fans as well. But I mean, we kind of knew that this was coming, even if you didn't have Gunn pretty much wiping clean everything with DC. All you had to do is look at all the cancellations
Yep.
that Warner's has been doing. I think the CW, I think you're going to have only Superman and Lois and the Gotham Knights. That
I
Gotham
still
Knights
believe
stuff.
in Goth Knights. I still believe in it. I'm sorry, but like
Really?
people are
That that
so people are really
that
this
show is
mad
not going
about
to
it.
last more than a season.
You know what? It only needs this season to prove how shitty the rest of the CW is. I'm sorry, but like people were swilling down the Flash, and they're like, "Oh, Gotham Knights is a step too far." Bullshit. Bullshit. The Flash is so bad. You telling me like this like just one-off wacky idea, that like okay, you know what? It has so much like nonsense characters in it. You know that Joker's daughter Dwella Dent has like 7 different origins. Harper Row is no one's favorite character. Carrie Kelly has been trying to integrate into like mainline DCU unsuccessfully for like 18, 30 years. It's just
Hmm.
so it's a one-off series concept. I don't know why people are so upset about it. Does it look bad? Yes, but you're telling me that you were like, oh, but Batwoman was an utter strata. It makes Batwoman look like art. No, this makes Superman like art.
Uh,
No, no, no,
uh,
no. It looks silly. It looks dumb. But you're not telling me that this looks any worse than the rest of the CW stuff. You're lying, or you have
I
rose-colored
think
glasses.
I think part of it was it shared the name with the video game Gotham Knights that wasn't already well received. The
yeah.
game is fun, but gameplay is pretty bad. Um, but that then you have this series coming out, which is I don't know what quality is going to be like. We'll have to see, but you can tell it's something that they made. I mean, first off, most CW shows are cheap. This one looks especially cheap because you're not going to have to do a lot of the super heroics with it, so you have virtually no CGI budget to account for or anything. So you know they'll be able to bring this in pretty. It'll be cost effective. I'll put it that way. And then they have, like I said, Superman and Lois. I don't expect that to last much longer unless it moves to HBO, which, yeah, it's still a possibility because Warner's has pretty much pulled out of, no, they have pulled out of majority ownership of CW at this point. So I could see them either putting that on their platform if, and that's a big if they want to keep it, but the more likely option is it just get canceled with everything else.
Yeah.
You look at, like I said, Batgirl canceled, and that's just DC stuff, not even counting all the other stuff that Warner's has canceled over, since Zaslav took over in almost a year now. I think it'll be what, April or
Yeah.
so. Yeah. So
April will be about a year. Yeah.
yeah, I mean the guys. I think he's found like he's come up with over like I want to say close to like 2 billion of his 4 billion plan cost cutting. I mean, we lost a lot of stuff. A lot of us would have liked to have seen, but hey, he told y'all what it was going to be. He was like, yo, I got to find
Hmm.
$4 billion somewhere,
Rest in
and
peace, Wonder Twins. Right?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that's
that's another
right.
one. That is another one. What to get rid of? What was it? Gossip Girl remake.
Yeah, that
It's
yeah,
all
that
yeah,
deserved to go. That deserved. Yeah.
yeah.
Fuck.
So
Okay.
I think it was another HBO Max series that was
Tomato count.
production. Another Game of Thrones series. Like not even Game of Thrones stuff is safe, guys. So
Yeah.
I don't think any of us should be surprised by Titans and Doom Patrol getting the axe.
It just might be. I know, even though Titans is gone, Stargirl is gone as well. Um, it makes me so nostalgic for the DC streaming app era. Let's call it that.
Oh
You
my!
know,
I was just thinking
Mm,
about that thing the other day. Yeah, I
'cause
miss it.
like you had Swamp Thing, you had Doom Patrol, you had Stargirl, you
Hmm.
had Titans. Now
yep.
Titan was the weak link, but I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna keep saying it. The first season kind of slaps. The first season's pretty
Yeah,
good,
I like that first season of Titans. Absolutely.
and I feel
It's
like if
season two that gets me kind of
season
Yeah,
two,
season
the,
2 was
the only good the only good part
okay.
the only good part of season two is the episode that they had the right to wrap up season one. Like if they had written season two's premiere as season one's finale originally, great
hmm
season. I think that it would stack up to any to any kind of regular DC show. But the thing of that, like 4 shows, and like one of them is pretty bad, but like Stargirl, it has its CW moments where like it goes too far into like bullshit territory, but it's overall really strong, really strong. Doom Patrol, masterpiece. Swamp Thing, God, so good, so good. It died a dirty death of taxes, of mismanagement, of tragic accidents. But it's shocking that like all these last like 3 to 4 seasons, and if only something had lived to be as old as these ones. But I still think that as these 4 shows, they outclass the entirety of the CW era.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
none
I,
I'll
like
agree with that.
yeah.
yeah. I can agree. Like I said, I'm unapologetic in my love for some of the CW stuff. I'm not gonna say it was all bad, but I think after a certain while the quality really dipped, like dipped. That's when I had to peace out. But there, I'll say that, like I said, I haven't watched Doom Patrol, but like I said, I've heard consistently good things about it. Same thing goes for Stargirl and Swamp Thing. But yeah, Titans. I don't know. I always think of Titans as CW, but just a grittier, and I think that's how it was able to last this long, because there were just certain liberties they were taking with that show that they weren't going to do with any other CW show. So I think that's why it got a lot more leeway, even though I think honestly, right after just season 2, it was just dog shit. Like it's not a good show. So I think that's why I was able to escape away. But yeah, I say all that to say this. It's you know what? Good. Like good. Good that we're getting rid of this. We can move past all this. I'm happy that there's finality. And I think everybody here is gonna land on their feet. That's the number one thing that matters. What can these actors and actresses get into next?
I mean, like Brendan Fraser, he's having a renaissance, as it's been
Oh
called.
yes, of
Um,
course.
and then I think that Matt, I'm gonna miss Matt Bower. I think I've seen Matt Bower in a lot of things, but I think this is like my favorite role he's ever done. I think he gets typecast as like the pretty boy like kind of actor
Mhm.
a lot of times. He's getting older now, but like he's still like in that James Marsden kind of like era. Like people cast him as like the goof, a bunch of things. But he gave a really soulful performance. April Bowlby was also kind of like, oh, we're gonna cast her as like, because I think the only thing she was notably known for,
Mhm.
like over here in the U.S., I think she's British, like actually, was like the airhead love interest for like a couple of seasons on like Two and a Half Men for John Cryer. And like
Mhm.
I don't think she's been really known in the US, but now again, really, really great performances. I think they really gave him like even Diane Guerrero, because Jane, like before this, best known for like again airhead performances like on Jane the Virgin and all that kind of stuff. And like I think this really gave these character actors really a really great time to shine. And I hope that
Yeah.
they're now casting directors wake up to like
Mhm.
talent, because like I don't want to see like Matt Bower like on like a side character on some rinky dink like ABC Family rom com. I want like meaty roles for these motherfuckers, right? Like Dan Guerrero is a fantastic actress. Like
Yes,
I
she
know, I know,
is.
I know Crazy Jane was like kind of awkward and annoying in season 1, but like season 2, like fucking magnificent. Season 3, incredible. One of the best like plots in any comic show ever created. That she gets one of the best kind of character arcs. And I know Joyben Wade, he came out of nowhere, I think, and fantastic Cyborg. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Also, too, I'll say this. Whatever Minka Kelly is doing, I am gonna follow. Whatever Anna
She can't
Diop is
act.
doing.
You have a problem. First Stephen Amell, now Minka Kelly. You have a problem.
Hey,
People can't
listen.
act.
I didn't say listen. I'm just saying that because she fine as hell, Elvis. Listen, do you see how fine that woman is? She is
I was
fine.
gonna say
I would,
Ro is not paying attention to Minka Kelly's acting
Well,
at all.
I'm
I could
not.
tell.
I am not.
I could tell he doesn't pay attention to acting. All right, that was
Oh,
all.
I'm not. Same thing? Was it Connor Leslie? Oh my God! Yes, I will follow whatever she does. Anna Diop, I will follow
She's
whatever she
decent.
does.
Leagues above Minka, but decent overall.
And then old girl who plays Barbara, she is fucking gorgeous. I am definitely following whatever she does for
Yeah,
sure.
it's insane that they didn't give her and Dick more. Insane. There's so many bad decisions in this show.
A lot of bad decisions there. But yeah, like I said, I think the good thing about these shows is again, it put a lot of these actors and actresses on, and again, I think they will be fine. It's not unheard of where we see actors and actresses leave not so great shows and they go and land amazing roles right after, especially in film. So yeah, man, they're gonna be fine. They're gonna be good. And again, this is just another part of the whole DC overhaul, man. So no hard feelings there. Like I said before, I'm happy that these shows get to end. I will say I'm a little salty though. I am a little salty. A lot of Titans of all shows gets to have a proper ending, but Legends of Tomorrow can't have a proper ending. I'm still kind of salty about that.
It can't. I know I need to be taken out the back and shot. And it did, and we're all better for it.
I'm
sorry. I'm sorry,
no.
Legends of Tomorrow heads. I'm sorry, but those first 2 seasons did not. No, that should be cut off there.
The second season was fucking. Elvis! I swear to goodness, I will teleport to where you are and I will fight you, Elvis.
The second season was that with the Vixen season?
Vixen was in that. No, that was the Legion of Doom season.
Really? Okay, maybe I'm misremembering. Because I remember there was one season where Vixen was on the team. No, wait, no, that was the Vixen season.
I think so, yeah, but still,
that was some really dumb bullshit. I'm sorry, but I had some of the worst character writing ever. Legion of Doom were fun, air quotes, but the actual team, dog shit. I'm not talking about Legion of Doom. I'm talking about the actual Legends of Tomorrow team.
No, the Legends team was the best in season 2 and 3, bro.
No,
2 and 3. Season 1.
I never saw season 3, so I can't say that. But those first seasons, are you telling me when fucking Vixen, who is actively changing time to better her family's lives, right? Actively, this is her plan to change the timeline so that her family doesn't get destroyed. Stops Captain Steel from saving his grandfather's life because it might change history, and we're supposed to be on board for bullshit. You tell me that's good character writing? Bullshit. No, man, this is insane.
No.
This,
Elvis.
He should have pushed her out of that ship immediately. All right.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember that. I just really remember the Legion of Doom stuff.
That's obvious.
Oh yeah. But for real though. I thought for the most part, season 2 was fucking solid. There was some heat, and I believe because of what the show is able to do, all the writing aside, it was able to get a group of B and C-list heroes and become its own thing. Because I don't think that show was ever supposed to go past the season 1, but I think because of what that show did and what it meant to people, I think it deserved a final, wrap up. So I don't know. I was watching another show recently before we started, and there's a good chance that everybody here who's suffering cancellations, they could come back for a Crisis on Infinite Earths type thing. So maybe whoever didn't get their endings, they could probably get their endings there.
I know apparently the Stargirl Titans and New Patrol crossover is still happening on Titans.
Really?
Yeah, and that's what I'm hearing. That got announced a year ago. and that's supposed to happen this, during like this season cycle. And I've heard that it's still happening on Titans, as that's where it's going to be mainly. So like, I hope that does happen, because it'd be like, again, it'd be like the last bastions of that DC universe, DC Infinite era.
Yeah, I would tune in to see that, because that sounds fucking dope. Yeah, let's do it.
How do they coincide with like what the fuck happened with Beast Boy? How do they do that?
Oh God,
he got on Titans and they just totally retconned the Patrol out of existence in that show.
So we'll see, man. I'm excited now, because you told me that. I'm looking forward to it. So maybe I might bite the bullet and finally catch up on Titans, and hopefully watch Doom Patrol to get ready, and also Stargirl as well. So we'll see. Let's see here. Speaking of which, your boy Feige is in hot water, because he said that he doesn't see superhero movie fatigue happening. Of course, this riled the Twitter streets, and yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about this one? Because I'll be honest, I don't think superhero movies will continue on without there being some sort of decline or massive decline at some point. I don't think so.
I don't think you'll get superhero fatigue. I think you'll definitely get MCU fatigue, especially if they want to keep on with 4 films a year and 3 to 5 shows a year. Yeah, people get tired of the MCU fairly quickly. People like to talk about how COVID impacted the box office and act as if we aren't having films. I look at Avatar right now. It's what, the 4th highest grossing film of all time. Probably gonna move into the top 3 highest grossing films of all time. But if you point out, the MCU had a down year financially. Oh, you can't say that because of COVID. I'm sorry, guys. There are plenty of other films doing just fine at the box office right now. Thor: Love and Thunder, that movie made almost 100 million less than Ragnarok. That's it might be fine in the MCU offices, but hey guys, Disney is a publicly traded company. They have investors that they have to answer to, and I can promise you things like that are, somebody's going to catch an earful at the next investors call. When the Black Panther sequel, which was never going to make as much money as the first one, I think we can all agree with that. But when it makes over $500 million less than the first one, yeah, that's a problem, guys. Just like how what was it, The Last Jedi, which I like more than most, but it made nearly $750 million less than The Force Awakens, another film that wasn't expected to do anywhere near what its predecessor did, but you don't expect it to lose that much more money. There's a problem happening here. We're starting to see that with the MCU. Meanwhile, you can have a Batman film, and this isn't a DC versus Marvel thing, but it's like what, the third different version of Batman in like a 15 year period, and the first film out the gate is making almost $800 million. You would think that should be on the decline, but people are still showing up for that one, especially when there's a large part of the audience. Affleck's version of Batman left a sour taste in their mouths, but they're showing up for that. What people will get tired of is doing the same thing over and over and over again. The MCU has been doing that for a while, but every so often they'll do something different, not even necessarily something good, just something different, and they'll be rewarded for it. You had a Doctor Strange movie that made almost $1 billion this year. So clearly, being inventive with what you do can pay off. But if you keep giving us the same formula over and over again, yeah, you're going to start seeing people lay off, or not coming to them as much until we start getting towards that next big thing at the MCU, where everybody's like, okay, I have to see the next film, so I know where stuff is going for whatever their Kang Dynasty or the next Avengers film after that is. They say, hey, it's imperative for me to see this film, so let me go see it. You're not at that point right now, so yeah, when you're just doing the same thing over and over again, if folks feel like they don't have to see this one, yeah, you see folks start laying off. That's kind of the phase they're in right now. But I do agree with him as far as superhero fatigue in general. No, I don't think that will be a thing. I think MCU fatigue is happening right now, though.
Yeah, and again, we've seen and heard, the reception about a lot of the Phase 4 stuff as well. Like it's either just very mid or
Yeah,
just straight up bad.
Phase
Like,
4 was very hit or miss.
yeah, so hit or miss. So again, I don't think that helps either. And I also want to throw in too, like you had fucking Spider-Man. That I'm pretty sure that banked a shit ton of money as well.
Yep,
Again, it was something different. You weren't giving us, the same cookie cutter shit. You were able to
their
throw in.
their best movie financially, they keep the least amount of money from. I'm sorry, that's kind of hilarious to me.
Yeah, and the crazy part. Oh, also wait, Spider-Man, was it No Way Home? That's still not on Disney Plus for some strange reason, right?
Because it's a Sony film.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
Yep.
right. I fucking
Same
forget.
reason why they get very little of that box office. So and yeah,
Mm,
and they don't get the streaming rights to them. So yeah, that I mean it's just kind of funny.
yeah. Oh, yeah. So again, yeah, I don't. Oh, actually, no. I'll let Elvis go because then I'll piggyback off of that. What you guys say about this, Elvis?
I don't care. It's Marvel shit. I don't give a shit.
Okay, good, good
See, like I
man.
said, MCU fatigue.
Yeah, yeah. So again, I agree, and again, I'll be the first to say it. You know, I'm feeling MCU fatigued, and I will always say right off the bat, I barely checked out stuff from Phase 4. I checked out, was it Black Widow? I checked out what's that joint called, Hawkeye. I
Hmm.
checked out what was it, No Way Home, and I think that was it. Oh, I checked out WandaVision, and then even from WandaVision, that's when I started to be a little shaky. I was like, you know what, bro, I'm good. And then Hawkeye, I was like, you know what, I'm even more good. No Way Home is like the first thing in years where I was like, wow, that was actually a pretty solid movie, and I had a great time watching it. But other than that, it's just like I don't care.
No Way Home. No Way Home is the standout.
No Way Home was the standout for me. I'm sorry.
Insanity, insanity.
Yeah,
No,
it was the standout.
No Way Home. I thought after watching it, I thought No Way Home was gonna be the straw that brought camel's back. People are gonna like No Way Home is just so devoid of life. It's so cynical in terms of how it's made. I thought it was gonna be like people are gonna like, okay, there's no way that that they can accept this, right? But nah, nah. People are like, "Oh man, this is so emotional." No, it's not. It's remind me so much of that part of the Flash, and like the third season, I think, where they
Mm-hmm.
kill off Barry's father, all right, and then like 2 seconds later, they introduce Jay Garrick, and it's played by the
Nah.
actor who played Barry's father. I'm like, that's not emotional. That's just one. We didn't even get to know Barry's dad. Okay, so
Yeah, we did it.
you're playing to the emotions of having Barry's dad being played by the original Flash actor from the original live action '90s TV show, right? And then you're playing on you're playing again on that same emotional like, oh, it's the '90s actor as Jay Garrick. It's trying to double down, and that was that was the No Way Home throughout the entire film, again and again and again, just playing on repeated microwave emotions.
Yeah, like I said, it for me, it did the job. I thought, like I said, I thought it was solid. I had a good time watching it, and I think a lot of it too is hey, three Spider Men. The way that they did it, I was a fan of. I understand why people might not be a fan of. I thought it was solid, but again, that was it for me. Like other than that, Phase 4 has been very like again. I think the next time I might actually go and spend money on the MCU is maybe Ant-Man and then the next two Avengers movies. Like that's it. But I understand MCU fatigue 100%. And I don't know if those rumors were true I think we're on break when this happened. Supposedly they're going back to the drawing board because of the reception for Phase 4 as well. So, I think it's a pretty mad comment from Feige. And hopefully he takes some of that feedback that we're seeing from that outcry. And, maybe they just get their shit together. Because again, yeah, Phase 4 has been a dud, and people are getting tired of the MCU formula. And as much as I do believe there's certain directors and stuff who are just latching on to the MCU SEO, they are right when they say certain things. A lot of it is popcorn. A lot of it is regurgitated. A lot of it is the same thing being fed over to people left and right, left and right. So yeah, MCU fatigue is totally a thing. Totally a thing. But yeah, moving on though, onto some good news. We spoke about the 90s show last week, and it looks like it's a ratings hit. So maybe, Elvis, maybe we might get a season 2. And this is good because, like I said, we, despite its flaws, we thought it was a pretty solid show, and it looks like across the board, a lot of other people thought it was a solid show. So now it's just it's a waiting game of, hey, when are we going to hear about that season 2 announcement? What do you think, Elvis? Elvis, where you at? Elvis,
we lose him.
Might
have lost him.
We might have lost Elvis. Well, anyways, while Elvis figures his shit out, yeah, I'm excited for this. This is cool. Like I said, the cast did their thing. The story, even though it could have benefited from more episodes, I thought it was pretty solid. So again, I really hope for season 2. Maybe instead of 8 episodes, let's push it to about 15. I think that's a reasonable amount so we can get a fully fleshed story. I would like to learn more about the characters, especially the new ones. Would love to see more of the older cameos as long as they're done right. I think I think this has the potential to be one of the better reboots, one of the better continuations in a very long time. And again, AJ, I don't know if you've got the chance to check out that 90 show, but I highly recommend it, brother. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I haven't been able to sit down and watch it yet. I was a big fan of that 70s show, so I'm sure I'll tune into this. That 80s show was not for me, but that 90s show, they seem to be doing pretty well. Looks like the actor who plays what's my man's name? Red. I think he seems to be fairly confident about a season 2 announcement. So hopefully it comes through. They probably already know, but they just haven't announced it yet. But we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah. So hopefully it comes through. Like I said, that show, that 70 show was hilarious back in the day. Seemed like folks are liking this one as well. So hopefully I'm in for a good time when I finally do decide to check it out.
Yeah, for real. And dude, I forgot. Wait, there was a that 80s show?
Yep.
Really?
I think it only lasted like one season. Let me check.
What the fuck?
But,
that's like 13 episodes. Yeah. It was a spinoff, but I think it has some of the same problems this show has. Oh, this show is better at like kind of maneuvering around it,
Who was it centered on?
It was centered on like just a new cast, new characters.
Yeah, it was a spinoff.
Like it was like
it lasted 5 months. So yeah.
And I think that they're actually these are more similar. It was more kind of simplistic. It was like the character is more kind of like flat. The jokes are a lot more kind of simple. I think that there's a lot of overlap quality wise, at least structural wise, between the 80s show and the 90s show. I think that this is a lot more palatable because it's not as like the 80s was ugly. Let's be honest. I'm sorry, but like the 80s was ugly as hell. And at least the pop cultural 80s.
Right.
And so like it's easier to just sort of kids in flannel and jeans. All right, we don't look at ugly ass fashions or hairstyles. We're good.
Yeah, I'm looking at images from that '80s show. Oh man, this is rough. This is really rough. And also, I have a hard time. I don't know. I have a hard time taking it, seriously because it's the dude from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and I can't see him in anything else besides Dennis. So, that's a thing. But yeah, like I said, good for the cast. Good for the crew. Can't wait to see them back. It sounds like there's enthusiasm all across the board, especially with the cast. So that's good to know that Red seems pretty happy, and confident that there's going to be a season 2. So yeah, my fingers crossed, man. Good for them. Good for them. I can't wait to see more. But to wrap up, we do have a best of 2022 poll. So me, Elvis, and AJ sat down. We put all the comic books and movies and stuff that we've seen together and decided to come up with the best of 2022 list. So it's in the description. So we'll leave it up for how long you want to leave it up for, Elvis? Want to give it like a good week, maybe 2 weeks?
Like
What do you think?
week.
Week? Okay, so we'll give it like a good week. We'll make sure you guys go ahead and get your votes in, and then in the next episode, we'll definitely carve some time out. To see how our favorite shows, comic books, and etc. did. But yeah, that's about it for this week. Yeah, pretty light stream. Yeah, nothing too crazy. But I always say nothing too crazy happens, or nothing too crazy will happen in the next week, and then something even crazier happens. That's the world of comic books that we fucking live in. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for everybody who hung out in the chat or who's watching live. Thank you for everybody who's gonna be watching the replay. All right. So, AJ, where can they find you at, brother?
They can find me on Twitter at Mr. _Mitchell_ the number 2 the letter U. Find me there giving my hot takes as always.
All right. What about you, Elvis?
You can find me on THE_SNICKMAN, the Snake Man on Twitter, and at Unsourced on Radio on YouTube, where I do unboxings, reviews, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
That word. And you can find me on Twitter, Rule of a Queen _. You can find me on YouTube, Rule of a Queen Reviews. I do have a Mariko Tamaki video coming out. So my comment section has been ablaze after my Jace Fox video. So I expect a similar thing to happen for his Mariko Tamaki video, because I know it's the popular thing to just throw dirt on her name. And like I said, I'm gonna preach the gospel to you motherfuckers, like it or not. So yeah, once again, also you can find us on Comics Authority on Twitter. Be sure to follow us there. And please do your best to get your votes in, and yeah, we will recoup again next week to see how they did. But thank you guys once again for checking out the content. Elvis and AJ, thank you guys for taking time out of y'all Sunday to kick it with your boy. It's your boy, Role of a Queen. This is the Comics Code Authority, and we are out.